Good evening. That was kind of weak, so I'll say it again. Good evening. Okay, now it makes me feel much, much better. When I see the young brother and sister there, it reminds me of my twin brother and myself when we were little boys. We used to go into the bathtub on Saturday nights, and we would pretend to be instruments, and we would be making what we thought was beautiful music. And as a result of trying to produce music, my brother and I, over the years, have written over 100 songs. If you ever hear the song, Could It Be I'm Falling in Love by the Spinners, my twin brother and I wrote that song. And I am what these young people can be. And I am what I am because of the people who touched my life. My brother and I lost our father when we were 5, but my mother took us to church every week. I can remember we used to take water guns, and she would give us a signal to meet her in the back of the church, and she would rip out a tree and try to beat all the skin off of us. But going in that church and being around those wonderful people instilled something in me. And I used to always hear the old folks say, we come from kings and queens. And I wondered about that. And a few months ago, Reverend Dr. Campbell asked my wife and me if we could come in and help put together a Black History Month program. And we did come, and we asked some young people to do some research. And to kick that off, or to excite me, I went to the African Heritage Study Bible, and I started reading, and I came across some information that really caught my imagination. And there's a quote by a man named Flavius Josephus. He was a Jewish military leader and historian in Galilee who lived in the 1st century. He said this of Jesus: Jesus was a man of plain looks, extremely learned and full of vigor, with dark skin. And that started me to thinking, are there any people of African descent who were in Jesus' genealogy list? And we had some young people who did some research, and we found some people. The very first ones, all of you have heard the story about Joseph's brother Judah had married a Canaanite woman. Canaanite means he married a black woman. Had 3 sons, and the oldest son, he found a wife for him. Her name was Tamar. She was a Canaanite, meaning she was a black woman. But that son did something evil in the sight of the Lord, and God took him out. The second brother didn't do what God wanted him to do as far as being a husband and a father to Tamar, so God took him out. And when the father Judah did not want to give Tamar to his 3rd son, then she tricked him, and to make a long story short, Judah became the father of Tamar's twins. One of these boys was named Perez, and if you look in the Bible, in Matthew, you will not only see Perez's name, but you would also see the name of his mother, Tamar. And we've all heard the story of Jericho and the woman Rahab, who was a Canaanite, meaning she was a black woman. and she saved the spies, and so God blessed her. She is the mother of Boaz, who married Ruth, who are the great-grandparents of King David. So when you start seeing and reading this information, and I'll just give you one more fact. All of us know about Joseph, the young man with the multiple colored coat. He went to Egypt. He married a black woman. They had 2 sons. Joseph's father, Jacob, adopted those boys. They became, and they were, because their mother was black, in America, what were they? They were black. They were the patriarchs of 2 of the tribes of Israel, Manasseh and Ephraim. So when you start reading that Bible, you find yourself, early on I didn't know that. I used to be ashamed to be a black person. But over the years, the people that I have met instilled something in me, and I learned. And because of what I know, I understand now why Martin Luther King was willing to put his life on the line rather than live being less than what he was. He would rather face death. And there are a lot of us who are not stepping up and doing. This young mother with these young kids, that's what we need to do. There's nothing wrong with our kids. Our kids can learn if we teach them. And now we're going to bring some young people up, Marky and Tyra. They did tremendous research, and they made me extremely proud. And I don't know which order you want to come in, but I think I'll let them decide. And Dr. Stills is going to sit down. Thank you for your kind attention.